Dear candidates, now today I am going to explain what is clause. Actually, in English grammar, it is the important topic. Okay, and in KVS there are so many questions that were asked in your exam, whether it is PGT or TGT, and in other competitive exams there are so many questions usually come from this topic. So we have a better understanding of this topic. What is a clause? As you know, before proceeding, I have to tell you there is sentence. Okay. So what is the definition of a sentence? As we all know, sentence is a group of words which makes a sense. When sentence is a group of words which makes a sense, that is called a sentence. So now the topic is clause. Clause is also a group of words. Clause is also a group of words and it is the part of sentence. It may be a part of sentence because in a sentence there may be so many clauses. Means in a sentence there may be so many clauses, but it means clause is just a small or just a part of sentence. So what is the definition of a clause? I am telling you, it is a group of words. It is a group of words which has a subject and a finite verb and a finite verb. I am talking here of finite verb. Actually, sometimes we can see in a sentence there are so many verbs, but in a class maybe there are so many verbs. But I am telling you finite verb. Now we have to understand what is a finite verb. I am just coming on topic. What is a finite verb? Actually, verbs are there when we categorize. There are so many types of verb: main verb, auxiliary, modals, linking verbs, helping verbs, transitive, intransitive, finite, non-finite. So just I am taking one classification here, that is finite and non-finite. Finite and non-finite. So you just see one thing. I am writing here an example. I want to write a novel. Okay, I want to write a novel. Next example I am writing here. He wants to write a novel. Again I am writing the third sentence. He wanted to write a novel. Now there are three sentences, and if we take the example of first sentence, you see this is also a verb, this is also a verb. Here again verb, 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 verb. Okay, clear? So in these three sentences, in each and every sentence there are two verbs. So I am telling you one finite verb and one non-finite. Okay, so I will tell you what is the difference between these two. You see want, but in the second sentence it is wants, but in third sentence it is wanted. Okay, and here you see to write, here again to write, here again to write. Means what you are seeing, one pattern is there. Means the verb that is want is changing. Want, wants, wanted. But the verb to write in all the three sentences it remains same. It means that this verb is finite verb. Okay, and this verb is non-finite. Now what is the definition? The definition is finite verb changes according to tens and numbers. Means this verb always changes according to tens and numbers. If you change the tens or sentence, it will change. Sorry, it will be changed. But non-finite verb, it does not change according to tens and number. Means if you are changing the case or numbers, finite verb will be modified, it will be transformed, it will be changed, but non-finite verb remain as it is. Okay, now it is clear. So in every sentence, in every clause, you see only one finite verb. Only one finite verb. Remember this. Means the verb that will change according to tens and numbers. So this is the definition. Now I am coming on furthermore. Non-finite verbs are also different types. Basically there are three: infinitive, gerund, participle. Okay, participle, infinitive, gerund and participle. Now how you will identify which is infinitive and gerund and participle, and what are the functions of these three? Now I am telling you, infinitive means 2 plus first form of verb or base form, like to write. Example, to write, to run, and it plays a role of noun. It plays a role of noun. Clear? Okay. Then gerund, it is ing form. It is ing form of verb. It also plays a role of noun. Okay, like playing, eating, going. Okay, means playing cricket is not easy. Okay, like eating so many fruits will lead you something like disturbing. In this way you can say, or eating something excessive can result bad. So in this way you can see. So playing, participle. Now I am coming on the participle. Participle always play the role of adjective. Remember this. It always plays the role of adjective, and there are three types of participle: present, past and perfect. Okay, present, past and perfect. Don't say future. Okay, present, past and perfect. Present participle, that is the same like gerund, ing form, but only the difference, suppose that playing sometimes can be used as gerund, sometimes it can be used as present participle. What is the difference? Only present participle will play a role of adjective. Okay, it's like I am seeing a coming bus. Okay, here coming is adjective and playing a role of it is participle. Okay, and functioning as an adjective. Then playing card is a bad habit. Here playing is gerund. Okay, so this is the basic difference between present participle and gerund. Now you see past participle, it is third form of verb and sometimes second form of verb. Okay, second form of verb and third form. Perfect means it is the third form of verb, and this is used when after completing one work the second is started. Okay, means suppose that if any work has been finished and after that you start doing something, in that case this perfect participle has been used. So this is the basic, if you can say, way to understand the things. Means I just started from class and now I have some of these things on participles. So this is the basic thing. Now I am coming on our main topic, that is clause. Basically I have explained what is the definition of clause. So there are basically three types of clauses: principal clause, okay, or main clause, or independent clause. Okay, there are three names of this clause. You can say it principal clause or main clause or independent clause. Second is subordinate clause or dependent clause. Subordinate clause or dependent. Third one, that is called coordinate clause. Now what is the meaning of this principal clause? Actually, when you see a sentence, as you see principal means that is something main, means main, and this term also indicates something that is independent, means that does not depend on anyone. Okay, means it is absolute clause, and it don't need to depend on any other. Like I am just writing a sentence like if you work hard, you will pass the exam. Okay, this is a sentence. If you work hard, you will pass the exam. This is a sentence, and in this sentence there are two clauses. One is that, and second is this. Okay, means first clause is if you work hard. Second clause is you will pass the exam. One clause is here independent, and another that is dependent. So now, how will you identify which clauses are dependent and which is independent? So it is very clear, as the word indicates. Like if you work hard, you just say if you work hard, then what? It means this clause depends on something, because if you just remove this, now the sentence is if you work hard. The sentence remains if you work hard. You just delete it. Now the sentence if you work hard, is it complete? Is it giving absolute meaning? No, because something is hidden. What if you work hard? यदि आप मेहनत करोगे तो क्या? Means something is hidden. It does not give clear meaning. It does not express complete meaning. That's why we can say it is subordinate clause. Subordinate clause or dependent clause. It is subordinate clause or dependent clause. because it does not give absolute meaning, it does not give complete meaning. That's why it depends on this class. Now you just see. Okay, this is the complete sentence. You just see, this is the complete sentence. If you work hard, you will pass the exam. Now the meaning of this sentence has been completed with the help of this clause. Okay, again I am explaining, but for your better understand, now you just remove this. Okay, you just remove this. Now what is the sentence? You will pass the exam. You will pass the exam. So does this sentence or this clause depends on anyone to give exact meaning, to give complete meaning? No. The answer is simply no. It does not depend on another clause. It gives its full meaning, full sense. You will pass the exam. As we say, you will pass the exam. Okay. So what we got, that this is the clause, that is main clause. This is main clause or independent clause or principal clause. Okay, in this way we can identify. This is the rule. Now one easy method to identify which is dependent and which is independent. What is, if you see any subordinate conjunction, if in a clause, suppose that there are 2, 3, 4 clauses are in a sentence, so you just see if any subordinating conjunction with any clause. So here you see this is subordinating conjunction that is given in this clause, and it means this is subordinate clause. To identify this, we can follow this formula. So I think now it is clear which is dependent and which is independent. Now we are coming, that is coordinate clause. Coordinate, the word indicate that they are the same, means neither anyone depend on anyone, means they are the same. Like Ram plays hockey and Mohan plays cricket. Okay, Ram plays hockey and Mohan plays cricket. There are two clauses, Ram plays hockey and Mohan plays cricket. And you see, if you delete this, no effect on it. No effect. It is not affected. In the same way, if you delete this, no effect at all on this. Means they are the same. They are the same. Neither this clause depends on it, nor this clause depends on it. Means they are the same, and they are joined by coordinating conjunction. It is simple. Okay, so in this way there are three types of clauses. Now the main question is, there are noun clause, adjective clause and adverb clause. We just study or we just see in the question paper. So I am here to tell you, only subordinate clause has this type of classification. Means whatever we are talking, noun clause, adjective clause and adverb clause, it is the classification of subordinate clause. Don't get confused. It is only the classification of subordinate clause. Okay, बिल्कुल क्लियर कर लीजिए, ये जो नाउन एडजेक्टिव एंड एडवर्ब है ये सबऑर्डिनेटिंग क्लॉज का ही एक पार्ट है. ओके, इट इज नॉट द क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ प्रिंसिपल क्लॉज और मेन क्लॉज और इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज. It is only the classification of subordinate clause. Okay. So now what is noun clause? What is a noun clause? That is the question. The answer is simple. When any clause, means when any subordinate clause functioning as a noun, means when you see the answer, if a question has been asked what, who, how, so in this way whatever the answer you are just getting, it means it is noun clause. Suppose that I am giving you the example. It is certain that he will pass the exam. It is certain that he will pass the exam. So this is the principal clause and this is subordinate clause, and in subordinate it is noun clause. It is noun clause. Okay, clear? Because it is certain that, then what is it? He will pass the exam. Means it is certain, means you can put here what? It is certain what? It is certain what? That gives the answer of a noun. Okay. What happened? That is something noun. That is indicating. So that's why it is certain that he will pass the exam. It is noun clause. Now we are coming on adjective clause. It is also very clear from the term adjective. What is adjective? Adjective that adds something to the meaning of noun and pronoun, or that qualifies noun or pronoun, or that modifies noun and pronoun. Means that qualifies, that gives a quality of a noun and pronoun, it is called adjective clause. So the same, if any clause that is functioning as an adjective, it is called adjective clause. Like it is the boy who has stolen my book. Means it is the boy. It is the boy who has stolen my book. So this is the clause that is adjective. Adjective clause, because it is the boy. Whole clause is telling something about noun, that is the boy. Means whole clause is telling something about noun. What it is telling, that this is the boy who has stolen my book. That's why it is an adjective clause. So in the same way, if we are talking now adverb clause, and what is an adverb? Adverb always adds something to the meaning of verb, adjective and adverb. It modifies verb, adjective and adverb. So in this way, if any clause that is functioning of an adverb, it is called adverb clause. Whatever the sentence I have just written, you see, if you work hard, you will pass the exam. You will pass the exam. So here, if you work hard, it is an adverb clause. This is an adverb clause. Because if you work hard, that is showing reason. Adverb of reason. Means if you work hard, there is a reason. If you work hard, you will pass the exam. So in this way, we can classify these things. There is something more to tell you, because when we classify noun clause, there is also 5 types of noun clause. That I will cover in next video. In the same way, adverb clause, there are 5 to 6 types of adverb clauses also. So more classification is there. But when you explain these things, they are giving only 2 minutes in demo teaching, and this is a lot of material you can connect. Suppose that you are going to explain clause, you just tell the definition and you can explain like what is subject, what is finite verb, and in this way the classification of finite verb, even you can explain gerund, adjective, gerund, participle, infinitive, all these things, a lot of matter to explain there. Actually, we do not need to ask introductory questions and to check previous knowledge, because students will not be there. Only panel. You have to satisfy panel. You have to show knowledge that you have command over your subject. Means you have a diverse knowledge about your subject. In depth, you can explain the things in a better way. So that is required there. Actually, I have made so many videos. Actually, those videos I have recorded in my class there in a school, in a government school, and the students, they are coming from a underprivileged society. Even they cannot read properly. That's why I explained those videos in Hindi. Okay, means direct, indirect, active, passive chapters are there. Dust of snow, fire and ice, and letter to God, the fun they had. There are so many videos you can see on my channel, and I recorded these videos. Few videos are in English and mostly are in Hindi, because I have just recorded those videos in a class. Okay, so you can adopt the method, same method, but you can translate these things into English. You just go inside the room and give your interview, and while teaching you just explain into English only. Okay, but you can adopt the method. So now whatever the things, the classification of noun class, classification of adjective class and verb class, I will explain in next video. And this is the method you can follow. If still you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, you can ask me if you have any doubt. And okay, let's meet in next video. In next video I will tell you how to teach poem. Then after that, one video I will made on prose, how to teach prose. In this way we assist you, and you just subscribe my channel and like it, and share it more and more, so that other candidates also will be benefited. Let's meet in next video.